And tonight's discussion is
And we are
to
going
be
to wait for a couple people to show up. We need our moderators.
yes, we need our troll hunters.
We're gonna need don't shake. We're gonna need our troll hunters.
And
Who wants to be a troll hunter tonight?
this is going to be a lively discussion because we are going to hit on the topic of Charlie Kirk and the aftermath of his assassination. And that's going to be the main focus, and then we'll have chit chat afterwards. And we're on a little bit later than we originally intended, but time got away from us, and we're here now.
Saturday Night Live.
4 people now.
4 people.
Okay. Yes, we can probably.
We still need a moderator. We cannot go on without a mod. So if we could just get someone to moderate here, please.
How do we know we don't have any mods in there?
Because we haven't selected any.
No, our mods remain from show to show.
Anyway, we definitely do need troll hunters. We have a lot of trolls that launch into.
Yes, for such a small channel, we certainly get a lot of freaking trolls.
And, well, if they're being offensive, go ahead and hide them from the channel.
No second chances. Delete them. Hide them.
Because, we're not in a deal with the BS, anything that would offend everyone. We're all for freedom of speech as long as it isn't infringing on other people's rights. And we welcome conversation, and we welcome discussions, disagreements. The one rule with that is if you disagree with someone, attack the statement, not the person. And, and state the reasons why you disagree.
We're going to be talking about Charlie Kirk,
the aftermath of his assassination, and a little bit of who this guy actually was. Because quite honestly, I had never heard of Charlie Kirk until the day that he was assassinated. And I heard a bunch of good things about him, but then I dove into who he was, and I was discovering that he seemed to have, while he was supposedly all about Christianity and love and all that kind of stuff, it turned out that the man actually did incite a lot of hate. And
we have 8 people in here now, no moderators.
And the amount of hate that he seemed to be mongering was just horrible to me. He actually made statements about how he thought that the civil rights movement was a mistake, and that he other statements that maybe he didn't mean anything by them, but they were quite racist statements. And even if people were taking sound bites out of context, just the fact that they were able to take these sound bites out, it just means that he did say these incredibly hateful things, and said them under the guise of education and being civic minded. And speaking of that, Congress has approved October 14th as the Charlie Kirk Day of Remembrance. It's actually his birthday, but they are making a national holiday for Charlie Kirk. But there was no national holiday for example, Malcolm X, who also was a civic-minded person, who pushed education and informing the public and speaking up about what was, about rights and wrongs that were going on. And he never got a national holiday. So, what do you guys think of that? And I'm gonna let my son speak up. He wants to stay off camera at the moment, but we'll let him speak up. What What do you think of Charlie Kirk getting a day of remembrance?
That's not right.
And why is that not right?
Because, like, he didn't really do anything. To be honest. Like, he wasn't Malcolm X.
And yeah. And so there's that, and then there was someone arrested, yet yet another crazy armed person. They had a gun, they had a knife, and they had police identification, but it was fake ID. They were at the Glendale, Arizona site of Charlie Kirk's memorial that is going to be on Sunday. And so this person was arrested, and I was kind of shocked to discover that the security and stuff, this memorial service for Charlie Kirk is labeled at the highest level of national security, and that it's such an important occasion that not only is the president of the United States going to be there, but the vice president as well. And I thought that the two men were never to be at the same place at the same time for safety reasons. So that was quite shocking to hear just what a big deal this was. A lot of good people get killed or die, and they don't even get a news story. So, I mean, this was a shocking assassination in front of hundreds of people, and, well, thousands if you add in everyone that saw it on replay or live on the various streaming services. But it's just kind of seems a bit over the top that this, that he's been elevated to a position higher than, for instance, Malcolm X. And, I heard my son, he's gotten plenty of recordings of different Charlie Kirk speeches. And, Charlie Kirk has said things that, didn't age well, I guess. Because, for instance, he said that a few gun-related deaths are acceptable in order to protect the right to bear arms, that it's just expected that people die by gun violence, and that's okay. And that he said that we should bring back public executions, and we should laugh at the executions. And, he was basically publicly executed. But that appalled me because, I mean, look at how far the country would be stepping back, and these are values that we're supposed to have. For example, in 1862, there was a public execution of 38 Native American Indian men. It was in the aftermath of what was known as the Dakota War, where the Native American people had their land taken from them, and they were given smaller and smaller reservations as more people, as more settlers came to the area. The treaties were broken, and the Native American Indians were forced back to smaller and smaller settlements where there were no natural resources, and they were starving. and they started fighting back, and that was what was known as the Dakota War of 1862. And then, in the aftermath of the war, when the war was settled, um, there were 303 Native American men who were sentenced to death, and then 264 had their sentences commuted, and 38 were publicly executed. And this was all done. The men did not speak English. They were not familiar with white proceedings. They had no representation, and they were not actually under the authority of the tribunal that oversaw their sentencing. And they had turned themselves in as members of a sovereign nation in the aftermath of a war. They should have been treated as, war casualties, but they were not given that. And anyway, these 38 men were simultaneously executed by hanging in Mankato, Minnesota, the day after Christmas in 1862. And people from everywhere gathered, had bonfires and whatnot to keep warm in order to celebrate this public execution. And are we, as a nation, supposed to be going back to the 1800s, to the hatred and divisiveness of those days? Also, I've been told that Charlie Kirk publicly said that the civil rights movement was a mistake. And, what? I am just appalled at how divided the nation is today, when I thought that there should have been many advances and equality and understanding between human beings. And, it seems that this man, this very famous, apparently, man, is being afforded all these laurels or whatever. I mean, having this memorial service that's been given the highest national level of protection, and being given a national holiday for his day of remembrance, while people like Malcolm X are not celebrated. And not even, most of this stuff isn't even taught in schools, this history of divisiveness that we should learn from. And then, oh, here we go.
Comments. Please.
My son's found some audio.
Or, like, show it to the camera.
No, just
Audio.
play the audio up close.
We should bring back, public executions on certain people. No, but think about it. I think that, and you guys should laugh, it should be public, it should be quick, it should be televised. By the way, you could fund the government
to watch it.
You could have brought to you by Coca-Cola, and no, I'm not kidding.
That was Charlie Kirk.
Executions brought to you by Coca-Cola is his plan.
Oh, good.
And we are supposed to give this guy a national day of remembrance. We are supposed to, spend all the money to fill a stadium in, Glendale, Arizona, for his memorial service. And, what the actual heck is going on?
What do you guys think about that? Let us know in the comments section. Hit that like button.
And
pull up
hopefully,
another soundbite. Yeah.
Okay.
Do the one where he's talking to the lady. Stand by.
And apparently, Charlie Kirk was not a proponent of women's reproductive rights. And
Hi, Journey.
and here's one.
abortion to the Holocaust.
Absolutely, I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse.
Worse than the Holocaust.
It's worse. He sounds very scared.
How?
In the video.
Yeah. How could it be worse than the Holocaust? That's just disgusting to me, that, you know, he would say that that topic is worse than the Holocaust. And this is who all this hoopla is about. And then the coverage of the alleged shooter, this Tyler Robinson. Why is it so important to put in that he was gay, that his lover was a transsexual furry? What does that have to do with the fact that this allegedly that this madman assassinated someone in public? Did we ever do a full coverage of, for instance, when Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested for the death of President Kennedy? Did they go and dig around and try to figure out what kind of magazines he liked to look at or whatever? I mean, what does that have to do with whether or not a person acted out of violence and anger and took someone's life in a public venue? You know, I don't think that should, I mean, it should, of course, go into the reporting, you know, when it's all said and done. Oh, this is the person who did this, and these are the mitigating factors. This is what went into it.
Hi, Susie.
But why the headline focus on the bedroom life and not on how did this guy get through security? How did security not stop him
How did they
beforehand? How did they not catch him leaving the scene? How did it take 2 days to catch him?
How was he allowed up on top of the roof?
It was all planned.
Do you think?
They want to divide us even more. They're like all Severance style creepy stuff.
They want us divided,
They're like,
guys.
I think we need to do a murder, and we can blame it on the gay people. Yes, it sounds great. We need to blame the gay people.
Yeah, and, you know,
Why do they have to always say it was gay people that did it?
It was a brown person. They're like, hey, look, this shooter was LGBTQ. The last 200 were straight white men.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty crazy. And
Do you remember the shooter at Club Q?
A fake LGBTQ person.
Yeah. And a lot of guys.
who then claimed that he was, you know, he claimed that he was LGBTQ in order to not be charged with hate crimes over him shooting up the club here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, where it was known as a gay nightclub, but most of the patrons actually were not. They were just gay supporters or just happened to like the atmosphere and the fact that it wasn't full of hate like the next most popular place, which was a cowboy bar.
Oh, yes.
Well, the main
Checking out the
reason
rooftops.
for all the patrons at Club Q is because it's in a highly populated, dense area where people can walk there.
And yeah, Journey has a excellent point with why would you not check the roofs or have bulletproof plexiglass in front of Charlie after, you know, Trump's attempted assassination where something happened to his ear. I still don't know for sure whether it actually was a bullet
Do you
or
have a
if it
sound
was
bite?
glass.
Yes.
Here's another sound bite.
Worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
He led by example, I guess.
Yeah. And
I really don't see
It's-
how
it's-
this was allowed to happen. You know, guys.
But-
Another shooter on.
But then what some of the conspiracy theorists are saying is that this whole thing got trumped up like that because of the Epstein files. Because nobody's heard about the Epstein files lately. It's all about the Charlie Kirk thing.
Do you have more soundbite?
Well, the entire right wing back a few months ago were talking about how they needed the Epstein files released so that they could get elected.
Man, you're speaking my language. I think the Epstein files need to be released yesterday. We need to know every single person and get the Epstein client list out immediately.
But then after that, they were like, the files are fake. And they told Charlie Kirk, hey, stop talking about the Epstein files.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I trust my friends, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, my friend Pam Bondi, all these guys. I'm going to, Todd Blanche, I'm going to trust them to solve it. Oh, man.
Interesting.
It went from, yep, they need to be released yesterday to, I don't want to talk about it. I just got to trust the government.
Yeah, you could use some drones for freaking security. Drones are low priced. The police around here, if something's going on, they get their drones up immediately, and they're just
If
city
you
cops.
live in the city, you know cops have drones.
Yeah, they don't hesitate
Yeah.
to use them either.
I think they're in probably every car. Well, some of the cars definitely have
Mhm.
drones.
Definitely.
Yeah. And, pardon
Jeez, we're live.
me. Sorry about that. Yeah, I had some chicken for dinner, and he flavored it so well that I ate some of the chicken skin,
Oh,
and
we shouldn't eat that.
I can't eat chicken skin.
Remember earlier I was
That's
talking
what
about
I'm
how she always has me cook, and then she's like, it was too spicy. Remember that? Remember that, guys? What else are we talking about?
I guess we're talking about how, you know what, I'm just gonna show them the camera to see if it turns out. But it's mostly to listen to. This is the guy we have a holiday for.
Okay, everybody, a lot of people are going to be saying Happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday, and I'm on my way to work. Have a good day. Okay, everybody.
Juneteenth. We got in a lot of trouble for speaking of Juneteenth a few years ago.
Yeah, and anyway, that sounds like someone who actually had a lot of hate. And, and so someone who has a bunch of hate for people who are different from them now has a national holiday. And, and I have not really been able to find out what Turning Point USA actually is, but that is Charlie Kirk's his thing, his organization or whatever, and his wife, his widow, is now the CEO and chair of Turning Point USA, and she says she's going to continue with his legacy.
So if Charlie Kirk had his own security, I don't know what they were doing. Like someone posted earlier, they should have used some drones. Check these rooftops. Bam. Oh, horrible.
Charlie had security paid for himself with some.
This is very important, everybody.
Well, I guess he didn't get his money's worth for security.
you have any more sound bites?
I'm trying to find something that's not too messed up.
Oh,
Because he was very,
Play something that's messed up.
And to love on them and to go visit them.
You had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped. And she was gonna give birth and she would, no wait, oh, and she was gonna give birth and she was gonna live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her rapist baby?
That's awfully graphic.
It's no, but it's a real life scenario that happens to
Calm down.
many
The
people.
answer is yes, the baby would be delivered. This is very important, everyone.
he said that if his own daughter was 10 years old and was SA'd and became pregnant from that attack, that he would make sure that the result of that attack, that baby would be delivered from a 10-year-old child's body.
absolutely.
And this is worthy of a national holiday.
I don't even know, like, what words to say about that.
Sad.
Anyway, apparently, Congress approved it. It was unanimous among Republicans, and 100 Democrats were against giving him a national holiday. But of course, being outnumbered by Republicans, it did pass, and October 14th is known as the Charlie Kirk Day of Remembrance.
That's the same level of, like, day as 9/11, you know, where over 3,000 U.S. citizens died and a bunch of firefighters.
Yeah, and okay. To me, that's just really over the top, and I don't think it's warranted.
Do you guys think he should have his own holiday? Let us know in the comments.
Well, he didn't think Juneteenth should be a thing, so I don't see why he should get a holiday.
I'm sure he
Yeah.
wasn't expecting this.
But
And
maybe he read the script and, you know, he read the line and said, "You will say in gang violence and then you will be shot." Maybe he read that. I don't think so, though.
and you know, that's
Oh, he said
something
some
else.
straight up racist stuff. Like, actual...
Not have the brain for everybody. Action. Yeah, we know.
I'm gonna try to show the phone to the camera again.
Okay.
But I doubt it's gonna work.
Okay, everybody. Action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color. Story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that. We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how action. Yeah, we know.
Yep, he just said black women don't have the brain power to be taken serious.
That's quite offensive.
That is extremely offensive.
And out of pocket.
Wow.
Oh, I found
Oh,
it
you
out
should
right.
play that one real quick.
This one is very racist.
If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Because of DEI, it begs the question, when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service,
Wow. Ouch.
He's gonna say, they'll just hire a random black guy because he's black to be a pilot.
I don't
I'm
think so.
guessing that's
I
what
don't
he's saying.
think so. Those are outrageously mean statements, and this is who is supposed to be revered. When they announced that October 14th will from now on be the Charlie Kirk Day of Remembrance, they also stated that they wanted this to be taught in school. They wanted schools to be educated on Charlie Kirk and his policies and his belief and his civic works.
Oh wait, we're gonna be forcing kids to learn about this guy, aren't we?
Maybe.
And it's like, what?
Play us another Charlie Kirk clip.
Trying to find some clips, but when you look up Charlie Kirk clips, you see the clip of him getting offed.
No,
Oh,
don't play that.
yes.
Oh, your channel gone if you do that.
And I have no idea why we are being forced to have days of remembrance and all this stuff for someone who did not preach acceptance, did not preach equality. And and Amber E's got a good question there. What exactly are his civic works? I'm going to be trying to find out what his civic works were, because so far what I'm finding is a bunch of hate, a bunch of privilege and superiority, and and I'm still taken aback by that statement about, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to think,
Ooh, I hope he's qualified.
ooh, I hope he's qualified. Well, I would think that, first off, if you're worried about qualifications of pilots, you should be worried about the qualifications of any pilot, not just specific races of pilot. But I really don't think commercial airlines are hiring people that are not qualified to fly airplanes. I'm pretty sure that every pilot employed by commercial airlines is someone who has gone through flight school and has been certified as a pilot.
Military training as well, I'm sure.
Or military training. Yeah. So, that's...
Let us know in the comments what you think about this, guys.
Yeah.
And hit that like button. I see 9 thumbs up. Can we get some more?
It's like, the more I learn about Charlie Kirk, the more I wonder why so much about, other than the fact that he was publicly executed, why is there so much talk about him? Why is there so much celebration of him? I mean, apparently there are memorials to him taking place all over the place. And Journey to Get There says there's lots of drunk pilots in the news lately. And I bet they're not just one race either. It's just...
Oh, I found a compilation of Charlie Kirk's
Well, let's play it.
craziest moments.
Play it. We're
Comparing
all...
abortion to the Holocaust. is what you're
Absolutely,
saying.
I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse. Were these blacks trying to go rob her? Happening all the time in urban America. Prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact. Black
Play it
crime
all.
is a
Play
major
it all.
issue
Okay.
in our country. Why are you pushing criminal justice reform? Example. Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson, they're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Now, the southern border is, of course, the great replacement. They're trying to replace us demographically. They're trying to make the country less white. It is an anti-white agenda. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Taylor Swift is now engaged to Travis Kelce. This is something that I hope will make Taylor Swift more conservative. Reject feminism.
We're not even
Submit to
halfway
your
through the
husband,
video.
Taylor. You're not in charge. America was at its peak when we halted immigration for 40 years and we dropped our foreign-born percentage to its lowest level ever. Miss Rachel, you quote Leviticus 19, love your neighbor as yourself. The chapter before
Let it play.
affirms God's perfect law when it comes to sexual matters. In Leviticus 18 is that thou shalt lay with another man shall be stoned to death. Can we get that picture up, Ryan, of that Marvel's Avenger team? Now, I don't know who the person is on the left. Is the person on the left that came and did the interview with Joe, the TikTok? Your government is being run by freaks. It's like immediately I have like a flashback to a country.
They are freaks. Trump's a freak. He was on that island.
Oh,
Wow. And I'm shocked.
well, what do you think about that?
Well, he unironically refers to black people as blacks.
That's terrible.
Why is he
Who talks like that anymore?
that?
Him. He says that. I don't hear anybody else saying blacks other than Charlie Kirk.
My
Wow.
goodness.
That's kind of like almost as bad as like the N-word.
Yeah, this is like he seems to be anti-female rights, anti-rights of anybody other than a white male.
You saying that is gonna make, like, if you were here and you said that, you'd say, oh, that's anti-white agenda. He says anti-white agenda.
That is just crazy. And then that reminds me of the rumors I heard about, like, Trump having ties to the Ku Klux Klan and such, and Charlie Kirk is a close friend of Donald Trump. And is this what the current agenda is?
I think that's why Jimmy Kimmel got canceled, because of they want to align themselves with the agenda.
Yeah, and Jimmy Kimmel, some people said what he said wasn't funny, and maybe it wasn't funny, but turn the channel or say, hey, he sucks, that wasn't funny. But they go and take him off the air for him pointing out things like this, and just learned that Disney lost $4 billion since
Overnight.
firing Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. So you cancel your what? Disney Channel,
and Hulu, various other things. People just canceled their subscriptions and stuff in disgust over this.
Cancel your Disney vacation.
Canceling
Well, that
Jimmy
cost a
Kimmel
fortune. Gee.
over the things that he said on his show, when Charlie Kirk saying all this hateful stuff is being put up on a pedestal and given a National Day of Remembrance, having this huge memorial service
Tell your sister
that's
we're
going to
not.
have both the president and the vice president of the United States present, and
Sleeping.
making speeches, and just
Play
it,
another clip.
Okay, I'll just continue this
Let's
compliment.
play another
I don't
clip.
know who the person is on the left. Is the person on the left that came and did the interview with Joe?
He
The TikTok
unironically calls people
Your
the F
government?
slur.
is being run by freaks. It's like immediately I have like a flashback to a
Thank you,
country
Joe.
where weren't able to do Bud Light commercials. What does being trans even mean? Is that even a real thing? It means you need therapy. We must ban trans affirming care the entire country. I do think that there is a direct correlation between someone's testosterone and their politics. On young men, the lower their testosterone, the more likely they are to be Democratic.
So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped,
Oh, it's this
and she was
one.
gonna give
I-
birth
I
and she
do
would
have
no
a
wait oh and she was gonna give birth and she was gonna live, would you want her to go through that and carry her
That's
rapist baby?
That's awfully graphic. The
It's
answer-
no, but it's a real life scenario that happens
Calm
to
down.
many
The
people.
answer is yes, the baby would be delivered. When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Why is that?
So I'm sorry, are you trying to say that blacks thrive under subjugation?
No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm asking you the question. The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. I'm done talking.
Think about
And he-
that.
Yeah, and Journey mentions that he got VIP treatment where his remains were flown on Air Force Two back home to Arizona. It's like, this is crazy. And speaking of crazy, when Donald Trump was asked about the memorial and how he's holding up since the death of Charlie Kirk, he segued into a $500 million refurbishing of a ballroom at the White House. And
Excuse you.
He said, he was like, "Oh yes, very sad. But look over there, you see the new ballroom? So nice."
That's very good.
that is very good.
He does good Trump impersonation, doesn't he? Give me another one.
China, it's so nice. I've been there. Wonderful place. They have this great wall. Just a really nice wall. Some may say it's the Great Wall of China. I say it's just absolutely amazing wall. So nice.
Yeah, our son, he's pretty amazing, and he definitely keeps us on our toes.
What else were we talking about? Are we going to talk about the Mississippi story?
And remember a few days back, people were saying that the story regarding Trey Reed, a 21-year-old student at Delta University in Mississippi, they were saying that his being found hanged on the campus was a news story that was put out there to take away from the, I don't know, I guess they were calling it the left agenda or whatever, about trying not to talk so much about the Charlie Kirk assassin's lover, who apparently is a trans woman named Lance Twigs. And anyway, they were saying that this was like fake news or whatever, and it was quickly stated that this lynching was self-inflicted. And now Colin Kaepernick, who is a well-known former professional football player, who and you know what, I feel really bad about this, but I don't remember what the whole take a knee movement was, but he was the first player to take a knee. Anyway, he is using his own money to fund an independent autopsy and investigation into the death of 21-year-old Trey Robinson in Mississippi. So that's good.
Could we talk about Jeffrey?
Yes, you can talk about Jeffrey
Yes.
now.
You should ask the
Be
questions
fast.
about Jeffrey.
Okay. First off, dear son, do you believe that...
Jeffrey offs himself?
Yeah, do you believe...
Not sure about that one. I mean, I forgot that the hyoid bone was broken, which isn't really something that happens with how they said it happened. And the coroner himself said it looked like a strangulation more than a self-inflicted.
And I believe there was some sort of talk about how there was blood on the clothing but not on the noose.
Yeah.
And weren't there injuries to a part of the neck that would not usually get an injury if it was self-inflicted?
Yeah, there was a blunt mark bruising on the back side of the neck behind the ear. Almost like they braced up against it. But I'm not gonna talk about what happened to Jeffrey. I'm gonna talk about all the more suspicious stuff, like how the fact that both of the security guards just so happened to doze off while they were on guard duty that night. They literally fell asleep when it, like, right when it was happening.
Simultaneously?
Yeah, they were both asleep.
And what about the cameras on the block?
There were 12, but only 2 were recording, and we got the footage from one, and it was edited.
Interesting. And how about oh, what was I going to ask you about this Epstein stuff? The Epstein list. Why has the list still not been fully released to the public?
Because everybody's in it.
Hey, where's that picture of Clint? Remember you showed it the other
day.
Let's pull up a picture real quick.
And apparently, you know, Bill Clinton is obviously on the list. So, you know, we are not
Dude, Clinton
we are
is
not
freaky.
to either side. We say that they are equally corrupt politicians on both sides, that these people in power think that they have more rights
Is the Mississippi
others.
case turning into a conspiracy?
Looks like it.
Some people call it a conspiracy.
A lot of people don't want to talk about it.
And like one of my favorite YouTubers was saying that you know, it's his belief that the Mississippi case is out there in order to take away scrutiny of Lance Twiggs, the boyfriend of Charlie Kirk's assassin.
Speaking of Clinton,
There he is.
this is a big old oil painting that Jeffrey had on his island.
Put it back up.
Mhm.
Now hold it super still.
Super still. I mean, it's blurry, but you can see what's going on here.
Do you think he posed for that?
I suspect he may have. I mean, like, they were bros.
And, you know, and so it basically, you know, no matter whether they're Democrats or Republicans, the rich and powerful tend to flock together, have each other's backs, and keep each other's secrets. And, you know, they expect the rest of us to just drink the Kool-Aid and believe whatever they say and whatever they tell us, and they don't want us to know the truth.
What's this one?
That's Jeff and Bill.
Okay.
So it seems to anybody who thinks I'm just a Trump hater or something like that, yeah, I've exposed, you know, my thoughts of Trump hanging out with Epstein, but, you know, other people like Bill Clinton hung out with him, so did Prince Andrew from England, and
I
but they were all gay.
Maybe.
Could be. Very interesting, you know, what these guys get up to together. And yeah, you know, and you know, I guess Hillary was there too. And she may be
Hillary's
in the
just like
files as well.
She just talks about it so casually. She's like, "Oh, Bill Clinton being a freak. Yeah, that's a thing he does. He's freaky."
Yeah, it's just, oh well, it's just, you know, freaky business as usual. We're rich and we can buy kids and we can do whatever we want. You know, it's like, no, you can't. And, you know, it's interesting that I don't know how to say her name, but
Ghislaine.
yeah, Ghislaine. The, you know, Epstein's
Side piece with power, as
Yeah.
someone said last night.
Yeah.
Isn't she in a luxury prison now?
Yeah, his
Yes.
side piece with
Yeah.
power after she did her trial and whatnot, and she got sentenced. And then she had a meeting with, was Trump one of the meeting, or was it just his, some of his team?
It was personally with Trump.
She had a meeting personally with Trump, and then the next day she's transferred from the prison where she was sentenced to a luxury federal prison, kind of like, one of those prison spas or whatever, where the rich and famous go and do their prison time.
I mentioned last night that Prince Andrew said he was at a Pizza Express in Woking that day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure it's true, but I've heard that this picture was taken on the day he said he was at a Pizza Express in Woking. There he is. I don't know who that person in the middle is. That's Ghislaine.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Let's see. There are a lot of people that were friends with Jeffrey. It doesn't mean they knew what was going on with these ladies that Jeff assaulted. Well,
Jeff didn't do the assaulting. He did supplied the place for it.
He supplied the ladies to the rich and famous that did the assaulting, and I guess Jeff was freaky and liked to watch, though.
Stephen Hawking was there.
Oh, that guy in the chair.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Something about the M slur. I guess extremely short people don't want to be called the M slur.
Oh yeah.
Doing math equations on a too-high blackboard or something.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's weird. We should jump back into true crime. We should talk about more of our normal content here.
Yes, and more of our normal content is that I still haven't got confirmation of where in Alamosa County. Amber says that poor person in the middle is no longer with us, unfortunately. And so I didn't see the picture that was held up, but from what Amber says, I'm afraid that it's one of the brave women who were coming forward and just could not handle what life was throwing at her, and she's no longer with us now. And
either that or they didn't want her to talk.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay. Let's jump in the back into our local true crime stuff.
Back to our local true crime, and we'll talk about Barry.
Oh, Virginia. I think it might have been Virginia Roberts.
Virginia Robertson. And Barry Morphew. Her hubby killed her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Terrible business. And speaking of hubbies killing their wives, Barry Morphew is, of course, still out on bond and in Alamosa County, and there have been no announcements of him getting employment yet, but I bet he's got somebody that's going to offer him a job so that he will be able to get off of house arrest for more than just the doctor's appointments and legal consultations that are going to allow him out of the house there.
How far he will go for a job.
Yeah, do you think he's going to push it and have it be that his employment is going to be out of the county of Alamosa, and that he's going to be able to travel out of the county? I feel like that's something that he would do just to be cocky, because Barry likes to push the limits. And just like last time, and Journey says, who says he has to work? He probably got plenty of money stashed. But yeah, I'm thinking that he would get a job in order to, the stipulations for his, or conditions for his bonded release are that he has to wear a GPS ankle monitor, and he has to be in the home that he's residing in Alamosa County, at all times, except for he could leave to go to doctor's appointments and legal appointments, and that the only other way that he could leave is if he had a job that where he needed to leave the house.
Man, staying in Alamosa County.
Not a lot of employment over around there.
Not a lot of anything. It's kind of in the desert.
Kind of in the middle of nowhere.
It's got Great Sand Dunes National Park. Half of Great Sand Dunes in it. It's got the Rio Grande River in there.
Well, maybe Barry will have a legal consultation at the Great Sand Dunes, and somebody will get a photo of him surfing the dunes on one of those waxed up sleds for playing on the sand dunes, a la Chris Watts and his lover, who I think had a lot more to do with him unaliving his wife, the baby,
we can talk about
the baby
Chris
girls.
Watts, too. If you want.
And yeah, last time that Barry had to wear a GPS monitor, it was there in Salida and in Chaffee County, and oh my gosh, the thing just didn't work when he was over at his house, and so he could do who knows what, and they changed it to where he only had to go into town like once a day to verify that he was still in Chaffee County, but they also gave him permission to go to another county to visit his daughters, and he had all kinds of freedom going on.
I wonder if he can get that off. If he can get that ankle monitor off.
Maybe you can do some bobcat work. And does anybody else know about Shosho? I know the other night I didn't get to see the comment, but hubby shared with me that someone said that Shosho and Barry are no longer together, and that Shosho has gone on record saying that he was very controlling, and which would show that Bear did not change at all after he took Suzanne's life. He continued to just live life the way he lives it, and controlling the women in his life. So we're hoping that someone will share information as to where Barry's been spotted, and I'm gonna go and check and see whether any Morphews own any property in Alamosa County now, because I don't know whether they would have purchased a place for him to stay, or whether he's renting. I'm also interested to learn whether the girls have upended their lives and moved themselves over to Alamosa County to be near him through this whole pre-trial period and during his and yes, Shosho is on the witness list.
He's probably hiding from Barry.
Also, I'm trying to find more information about Carl Colby, Crazy Carl. I heard a rumor that he's no longer alive, but I haven't been able to find verification in the Google searches on my phone. Journey says Shosho has not been with Barry for quite a while, and
it seems that there's a lot of people not surviving the aftermath of being involved with Barry.
Yeah, and it does appear that Carl Colby may have worked for Barry, the same way Morgan and Puckett and Cassidy all worked for Barry.
We have the list. We don't have it in hand.
Yeah, I have the witness list. I did a video on it before, and I can go over it again later. I don't have it here with me.
If you want us to do a recap on it,
But we can
on the
do a
witness
recap.
list, who is on it? There's a lot of FBI people on there.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of professionals on it, but also names that we recognize. Cassidy Cordova is on there, and Shoshona's on it. The daughters are on it. Shirley's on it.
Tyson.
We know that the three Morphew women are definitely what are they called, hostile witnesses. The prosecution is going to call them as witnesses, but they are firmly in Barry's camp, and so their testimony, they're not going to be wanting to go with some. I'm going to have to recheck for Trevor Noel, because I don't remember whether he's on the list again or not. I will check. And
who else is on that list that we are in a hurry to?
Tyson Draper is on the list, and Lawrence Scharf is on the list, and
the man that Suzanne was texting with.
Oh yeah, and it's Carl's girlfriend who was missing, and it's Edna Quintana, and Edna, her remains were found in a remote location in Saguache County, and Crazy Carl had said that they were out rock hounding or something together, and that they got separated, and that Edna said she was going to go back to the car, but when he got back to the car, her purse was in the car, but she wasn't there. And obviously people don't believe him, and it appears that it was legitimately a search for Edna that caused them to be searching the area near Crazy Carl's trailer, where they found the shallow grave with the remains of Suzanne Morphew in it. And
Jeff Libler is on that list.
Oh yeah, and one of the witnesses that I'm really looking forward to is Jeff Libler. He is on the list, and I'm going to be very interested to learn whether he suspected anything in his last messages with Suzanne, whether he felt that it truly was Suzanne that was communicating with him, or if he thought perhaps Barry was imitating Suzanne.
Get a couple more likes in here. Hit that like button. What about the spy pen?
And the spy pen can be used in this trial as well as in the last one. And what's really funny is that Barry's attorneys argued for everything that was revealed in the last preliminary hearing. They were arguing for all of that being admitted as evidence in this trial as well. And then they tried to say that retroactively they wanted to take away Barry's decision to not have an attorney present and go ahead and speak on the record to law enforcement, because obviously he was giving himself away right and left. Anyway, that failed, and he can't retroactively say that he didn't say something. If it's on the record, it's on the record. And that's going to be very interesting, just going over all the stuff. And it's so refreshing to see that the defense, of course, is complaining again, as Barry's defense always does like to complain. But this time, unlike the first time around when they were complaining because Linda Stanley's whole thing was screwed, and they were getting notification on
No
time, and they
yawning.
weren't getting evidence. This time they're complaining, saying we're getting way too much evidence, and it's
They get at
and it's
least
getting too timely.
4 or 8 terabytes of evidence they need to go through, so they're really pressing for July is when they're going to be ready. Barry's defense team.
Yeah,
It's true.
and the youngest daughter, Macy, she did lie.
Did she?
Yeah, and it's very obvious that she lied. When she spoke to the police, she did say that her parents had problems. She did tell her boyfriend Miles and his parents that her parents had problems, and that she was expecting that they were going to separate, that she and her mom were going to get an apartment or condo, and they were both going to get jobs. But then on the television interview on, I don't know if it was 48 Hours or Dateline or what, but Barry and his two daughters, after his charges were dropped without prejudice, the girls were holding his hands, and they both told the interviewer that the parents had a beautiful relationship and were so in love and stuff. So Macy lied on national television, and I think that she was heavily coerced by both Barry and her sister Mallory. And I'm going to be curious to see whether Mallory is complicit in this whole thing, or if she really is just that stupid and that
Ooh,
and
drop
and
the S word.
yeah, is she really that stupid? Because she has all along been her dad's right hand woman with everything that went on. She signed for Barry to get the power of attorney over Suzanne when Suzanne had only been missing for a week. And she also signed over did money transfers with Barry that Suzanne had discovered and complained about shortly before Suzanne's death. And she was the one that Barry was first doing the funneling of money and properties through. And Mallory is the one who was the beneficiary of the GoFundMe that so many people donated to in the early days of the case. So, I'd be interested to see what's up with that. And I see that we've been on here for over an hour, so we should probably be getting ready to go to bed, especially since I've been fighting yawns for a little while. So, thank you all for being here, and we will see you again soon.
Let us know how you like the newer content that we're covering now with a more political twist on it.
Yeah, because it's not always going to be political stuff,
No, it won't be.
but we're just going to talk about, whatever we're thinking about, whatever's going on, in the news and whatnot, because now we really are in the car.
We'll be
all
doing
the
more
time.
current events. It won't be
So-
focused on politics, though, guys. This
Yeah,
is
'cause
just
we're-
a terrible crime.
Yeah, a terrible crime that happens to have political elements and stuff. Because we're not really political people. We think politicians are all corrupt. So,
Let us know what you think in the comments. Hit that like button. Good night.
good night.